welcome for part 2 of our GMC strip down build and super turbo diesel extravagance, hopefully, once it's done. So in this episode we get really set into the panels, taking all the bits and pieces off, getting the chassis prepped for the engine mounts, and let's have a look at some of the brake upgrades as well. Right, Chevy, oh fuck, it's not a Chevy, GMC, 1952 GMC update, and here it is. So we've taken a lot of it apart. A lot of this has been upgraded. The inside of the chassis legs have been boxed in, ready for the mounts. Obviously, as you might have seen from photos recently, these brakes have been upgraded, all the kingpins have been replaced. I'm not changing the front axle in this. I'm not putting in, I think, a Mustang 2, or what's that American police car, Crown Vic, that they sometimes put in them. I'm not doing that because I'm wanting to keep it like a truck. Now this, the cab, lots of bad repairs have been done over the years. So, and you can see holes and all sorts of things. And on the other side, you can see where we've started to repair that. A new section's been put in. We've made a new section for the side and this. And also, you'll have noticed there's an absolutely giant hole in the bulkhead here. And that's because the 606 engine, even though this did have a 6-cylinder engine in it, the original 6-cylinder, it has a nice little notch in the bulkhead, and the engine just sits into it. Well, the 606, it sits over at 15 degrees. And for all intents and purposes, it might as well be a V12, because the engine sits like that and the manifold and everything else sits the other way. So for a straight 6 engine, it's really broad. And obviously that needed to go into the firewall. So we've made a new section that goes in there, which is really quite nice. That's it there. And this is going to get the edges bead rolled and then a row of rivets around the side. So that looks really nice. This is the internal floor section and a little tunnel that goes over the transmission. Not that it really needed a tunnel, but it was just to give it a little bit of strength and detail. Let's have a look at the back end. So, oh, that's the intercooler that's going in it. Massive, absolutely massive. The back end needed to be strong because you know that my burnout game is strong, so my back axle needed to be strong. So it's got a Curry 9-inch, custom Curry 9-inch, which has been powder coated. It looks like it's just been thrown there, but I'm promised it hasn't been. Cross member and everything, you've probably already seen that, and then track bars for the rear axle and other bits. So the bed's been removed completely, and the spring shackles and bushes have all been replaced and new. The bolts, everything. Again, I'm keeping the rear suspension on springs because I think that a 50s pickup should be on springs. If I was building a kind of a street rod car type thing, then yeah, maybe I'd have gone coilover, but I want to keep it springs. It's a trucky truck with a diesel engine. Inside the cab, horrendous, but we've got the seat out, which I'll show you that's outside. I'm going to try and keep some of the original patina. So that leads on to what I'm going to say next about the patina. So there's a seat. This is a fuel tank, which obviously lives in the cab. We're probably going to use that. Bonnet, which is all good. Few minor repairs being done to it. Inner and outer wings. So these aren't like rotten, but heavily patinaed. The inner wings I'm going to do a satin black, and the outer wings I'm going to lacquer. So let's have a look at the bed. That needs all new floor. There's quite a lot to that. It's got some really cool patina on this GMC badge, which I'm going to retain. That's going to be pretty cool. This is the original seat, which is completely rat-eaten, which is nice. Unfortunately, I can't just lacquer that and then sit on it. Well, I could. I wouldn't advise it. And then these are the wings, which are going to stay as they are. Well, they're going to be lacquered. Shall I give you that lacquered effect by wetting them? So it'll look something like that, but without the shadow. Which is cool. And here's another one that's getting prepared, which looks really sexy. Right, so that's your update. 52 Chevy. Oh, it's never been a Chevy. And soon it'll be rolling coal. There's the engine, it's been repainted. 600 plus horsepower, billet intake, billet exhaust manifold, custom pump, best, unmistakably the best pump in the world, because obviously it comes from DieselPumpUK. Right, so that concludes a bit of a strip down, and next week we're going to get on with doing some panel prep, some panel paint, some lacquer work, and maybe even chassis paint, which would be exciting. Now it's moving along nicely, isn't it, Snoo? So join us then. Bye for part 2.